Hey, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kyle Morris, and I'm owner of the Golf Room and the Golf Room Everywhere. And I'm ranked by Golf Digest as one of the best young teachers in America, the #1 instructor in the state of Ohio, nominated top 50 in the world, a master TrackMan professional, and a former tour player. But what I want to talk to you today is I want to talk to you about your game. Now, the question that I have for you is, what is your swing philosophy? If you could write it down, what is it? Right? I mean, all over the internet, you hear people say, just swing your swing, man. And listen, if you have a swing and it goes like this, and it's like looks like a 3-year-old kid's drawing, and yet you still hit great shots, then yes, you should keep doing that and swing your swing if you're shooting 65. But if you're not, what are you going to do to change it? Right? What are you going to do to really change your swing? See, at the Golf Room, what we are doing is different than everywhere else. From the bottom of my heart, I feel like we literally have the Coca-Cola formula for players getting better. And I want to take a second and just show you why. I want to show you why this is different than all of the other garbage that is on the internet. There's some good stuff, don't get me wrong. But what is different about this? I want to show you. And it really starts with just a 10,000-foot view. A 10,000-foot view of trying to help you gain consistency. What is consistency? Consistency to us is what we call a stock shot. It's a golf ball that starts one way, it curves back towards the flag, and it never over curves the line. And listen, I am a really, really big swing nerd. Ever since I was a kid, I was studying golf swings. And I had the chance of meeting Jack Nicklaus when I graduated from Seton Hall just before playing tour golf. And he went to me and he introduced this whole concept of a stock shot. And I went on this manhunt to figure out what are the similarities that all tour players have. Because like I understand, like we were talking about, there is a lot of things on the internet. Everybody's trying to sell you this and sell you that and say, I got the one trick secret. And like, perfect contact, and do this, and I can make you fix your slice in 5 seconds, right? But what I want to show you is I want to go through this and tell you why this is different. And it all starts with just, what does every other tour player do? So come over here, let me show you this and give you a glimpse at what every tour player does and why this is different. Let's just take Zach Johnson and Justin Rose as a little experiment with it. Now, as you can see, Zach Johnson is hitting a stock shot here, right? A consistent ball flight. Whether it's a draw or a cut, doesn't really matter, but it's a ball flight that we can predict, right? Now, with my studies of all these tour players, they do 3 similar things that everybody can do that I'm going to show you how to do, right, with our journey right here at the Golf Room and the Golf Room Everywhere. As they go back on the plane, and then they hinge, and halfway back you can see that the club is steep. Steep meaning it's looking just barely inside the golf ball. If you look at Justin Rose, same thing. The club just looking just barely inside the golf ball. There's a lot of physics that are in line with this. So what I'm trying to tell you is that what we are doing, I am not reinventing the wheel on how to swing. I'm just using physics, and physics haven't changed since God created the earth. So we're just doing we're just swinging a golf club and teaching you how to swing a golf club the way it's designed to be swung. So they go back steep. Then as they come back, you can see now Zach Johnson, if I change the color here, you can see Zach Johnson is now shallow. So he goes back steep, comes down shallow. You can see that Justin Rose will do the same thing. He goes back steep, and now the club is outside and it's shallow. This gets so many things to go right to where now the club's just around the plane, and then he turns, and now he can control the club face, and the shaft goes back steep. So he goes back shallow, or back steep, down shallow, and then exits steep. And Justin does the same thing. And if it doesn't matter who you're looking at, every single player from Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, any swing that you think looks good does this steep, shallow, steep move, and that is what allows them to build this stock shot. But the difference is, right, that's not the difference that makes the Golf Room. The difference is how we actually go about changing it. So let me tell you about that. See, the difference of the Golf Room is how we're going to change your golf swing. And that's what I want to show you. See, the truth of the matter is that there's these guys on the internet and girls on the internet and video series that you buy, and they're saying do this and do that. But they're never actually letting you experience what it is. They're trying to articulate change through words, and that's really hard. The example that I'd like to give to you is, for example, if you have kids, this is a great one, right? Like I've got 3 amazing kids. They're 10, 8, and 6. And if you and I, like if you had kids and you and I were sitting with another person who maybe did not have children, they were 26 years old, and we sat down with that 26-year-old for like 3 days and 8 hours a day, we tried to explain to them what it was like when you would lay eyes on your kid for the first time and the emotion you felt. They still would have no clue. Or what it was like if you were fishing, what it's like to catch like a 45-pound Alaskan king salmon out of the Alaskan Sea. If they've never done that, they have no clue. And if you've never hit a shot where the club is sitting in the slot that they call it, and you can press a golf ball from the inside and see a stock shot, I could articulate that with words, but you never have experienced it. And that is what we do. We create the experience. We make you feel what is real. So like take my friend Steve here. Steve came in last week, right? And if you look at the swing on the left, this was his beginning swing. Steve would take the club back, and as he took the club back, he came up to the top. The face was really shut, super across the line, and really steep, right? I mean, the club's almost coming through his neck, not the slot. And then he actually like misses the golf ball, basically. We did a playing lesson the day before this, and it was hook after hook after hook after hook after hook, pull, 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 right? Now, what we did is we created a roadmap for him to feel what's different, right? So going back to my daughter, if I was going to teach my daughter how to write the letter A, I would do it through a stencil. I wouldn't do it through words. I wouldn't sit there and say, hey, Rennie, what I want you to do, sweetheart, to draw the letter A, I want you to draw a 2-inch line at a 45-degree angle, another 2-inch line at a 45-degree angle, with a 1-inch line connecting the 2 45s. She'd look at me and go, Dad, you're nuts. I have no clue what you're saying. But if I said to her and I go, sweetheart, here's the letter A in a trace, and don't color outside the lines, she'd go, oh, I can do that. And if she goes, Daddy, no, this feels like an A, right? Like someone who was swinging a golf club and they're like, this feels like a golf swing. I go, no, 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 Rennie, that's called a scribble. Just like I say to you, I go, that's a scribble. That's why you can't build consistency. But if we trace the A and we felt what that truly was, now you can start to train a motor pattern. And that's what we did with Steve, and that's what we want to do with you, right? We create a roadmap. So like we've got some, like a cone and an impact bag, and everybody's a little different. But this is literally like 5 minutes after we start doing this. The club goes back, and look at how on plane it is compared to this. In 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I had a guy the other day come in and get a lesson, and he said, I've been working at this for 30 years. I've seen instructors in England, Dubai, Florida, California, everywhere, and you just fix this in 10 minutes. And the truth of the matter is that that's not because they're with me in person. I'm not sitting in a lesson like groping these dudes and like putting their bodies in positions. I'm just setting up a stupid cone in his way and saying, miss it. It's not rocket science, right? And the thing is there's a system in what we're doing. So now his backswing is great. And now look at his downswing. His downswing's great. Like he comes right back down on plane, right? Like right through his trail forearm. Right? Compared to him over here where he's got a closed club face and the club's coming way over the top. And that's one of the differences of the golf room is the fact that you've been trying to fix your swing and you've been trying to feel these different things, but you don't know what it feels like. And that's not your fault. You just haven't had the right guide to lead you to the promised land. And one of the other things about this whole thing is that there is a system to what we are doing. We are not just picking and plucking things for you to work on. There is a systematic approach of what you need to do to build a stock shot. I have taken something through a lot of work, and I've earned it because, listen, I did not do this at one time. My club face I was laid off. I was the opposite of Steve. I was laid off and open. Then I would like fake shallow it and tomahawk it over the top, tip it out, and hit everything left. And that's when I met Jack Nicklaus. I was like, I got to fix this. Like, what do I do? He goes, you need a stock shot. I was like, okay, what does everybody do? And then I went on a manhunt. Then I found my mentor, right? The godfather, the guy who I owed everything to, Mike Bender. He's my mentor. I've probably taken more lessons with Mike than anyone on the planet, except for maybe Zach Johnson. A lot of lessons. And I built what this is, this stock shot, right? And learned how to do it, and then took what I learned and created in a super simple, systematic ABC. I basically could tell you the whole golf swing in 25 words. 25 words. From alignment, grip position, grip, ball position, tilts, you tilt, turn, and hinge, to shift, drive, flick, to pivot and snap, to turn, match, and fold. That's a golf swing. And then taking that and saying, okay, where are you? Do you have good alignment? Is your grip okay? Are your ball positions all right? Okay, now let's work on your backswing. Let's tilt, turn, and hinge in a backswing. Okay, you got that, great. Let's go do the next thing. Because what is the point of trying to get into the slot or get on plane if your backswing looks ratchet? If it looks like you're in a sword fight at the top, swinging on plane is really hard. So let's make that really efficient. And then when we do that, let's do the next thing. And that's the thing, is that I want to teach you how to actually make use of your time. I was able to go practice for 20 minutes on Saturday while my kids were at the pool. And when I walked away from 20 minutes doing the same drill that I have been doing, right, since for like 14 years, because I understand my stuff, I walked away 20 minutes later and I go, that was an amazing high ROI, return on investment of my time. I got the most out of 20 minutes. Life is hard to practice, so let's make the most use of your practice. And let's create a systematic approach to your game. And that's what you're going to get right here at the Golf Room and the Golf Room Everywhere. Wherever you are in the world, it doesn't matter. That's what you're going to get. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at the Master Plan or a Stock Shot Club or the Golf Room Everywhere or maybe one of our free video series. Wherever you are in the world, we want to help. That is the only passion in my heart, is to help you make this amazing game less frustrating. To stop leaving the range and saying, like, let me try this and let me try that. And like, I don't even know what I accomplished right now. And I'm hitting it worse. And then you feel like you got it. And then like 5 balls later, you're like, no, I lost it again. And you're constantly running around like this circle, chasing your tail, trying to figure out the formula to build consistency. And what I'm sitting here doing is I'm saying, listen, I have the formula. Like, it's right here. All you have to do is just take it. And like, it's not even that much money. Like, if you said, hey, whatever the price point is, whatever it is that you're looking at right now, it's not that much, right? It's not that much for consistency in your game and getting rid of the struggle that you're dealing with on the golf course. And it is my heart to help you and give you and outfit you with everything that you need to be amazing, because you are amazing. You just need a guide to help you along the way. And that's where I want to just be your guide. So will you allow us? Will you allow us to be your guide in your journey to build consistency? That's the question.